Conor McGregor hasn't fought in almost 3 years. 3 years of press conferences that went nowhere, promises that got delayed, a leg injury excuse, a tequila brand, a failed political run, everything except actually stepping into the octagon. Now he's fighting Max Holloway, and here's the part people are sleeping on. This isn't some tune-up fight against a guy on a losing streak. Holloway just went in there and beat Charles Oliveira, a former champion, and made it look easy. So the question isn't, will Conor show up? The question is, does the guy who shows up still have anything left? Stick around, because by the end of this, I'm going to show you exactly why this fight is more dangerous for McGregor than people realize, and why Holloway's game plan might already be written. Let's rewind for a second, because context matters here. McGregor's last actual fight was back in 2021, the leg break against Poirier. Since then, it's been nothing but talk. A pulled-out fight with Michael Chandler, USADA testing pool issues, him teasing return after return and never delivering. At some point, even his biggest fans started tuning it out. So why now? Why Holloway? Part of it is timing. UFC needed a McGregor-sized name on a McGregor-sized card, and July 11th at UFC 329 gives them exactly that. Part of it is money, obviously. It's always partly money with Conor. But there's also a narrative angle UFC clearly wants. Give the fans a "is the old Conor still in there" storyline, because that sells pay-per-views better than almost anything else in the sport right now. The problem is, Holloway didn't sign up to be a storyline. He signed up to fight. Here's what should worry McGregor fans, and I don't think enough people are saying this part out loud. Max Holloway is not the guy people remember from years ago. His last performance against Oliveira wasn't just a win, it was dominant. Volume striking, insane cardio, constant pressure, the kind of pace that breaks fighters mentally before it breaks them physically. And that's exactly the style that has given McGregor problems his entire career. Conor has always been at his best against guys who stand and trade in single exchanges. Cerrone, Alvarez, even Poirier in Fight 1. He struggles against constant forward pressure and volume. Nate Diaz proved that in the first fight years ago, and Diaz wasn't even close to Holloway's level of technical striking. Now add the layoff, almost 3 years without a real fight. Ring rust is real. Ring rust against a killer pace like Holloway's could be a nightmare. So when people say Conor's a legend, he'll figure it out, sure, maybe, but Holloway isn't walking in there to lose. He's walking in there to make a statement, because a win over Conor McGregor, even a faded version, still means something huge for his legacy and his bank account. If I'm in Conor's corner, there's really one game plan that gives him a real shot, and it's not the one his ego usually picks. He cannot try to out-volume Holloway. That's a losing game against arguably the best volume striker the featherweight and lightweight divisions have ever seen. What he needs is exactly what worked for him early in his career: patience, distance management, and one clean check hook or straight left that changes the fight in a single moment. The problem is that requires discipline. It requires standing back, eating some early exchanges, and waiting. And Conor, historically, does not fight like that when the crowd is loud and the cameras are on. He fights to the moment, not to the game plan. That emotional pull might be the biggest threat to him in this fight. Bigger than Holloway's chin, bigger than his volume. If Conor gets baited into a firefight in round 2 or 3, this fight could get finished fast, and not in his favor. Now step back for a second, because this fight matters beyond just the two guys in the cage. If Conor loses, and loses badly, this might genuinely be the end of the road. Not retirement announcement end, but the kind of loss that makes even his own fans stop believing a comeback run is realistic. At some point, the one more fight narrative runs out of runway. If Conor wins though, suddenly every conversation about his future changes overnight. A title shot conversation reopens. The McGregor circus, love it or hate it, becomes the biggest thing in the sport again, and UFC knows that better than anyone, which is exactly why this fight got made in the first place. For Holloway, the stakes are almost the opposite kind of pressure. He's not fighting for redemption, he's fighting because a win here basically guarantees him one more massive money fight down the line, no matter what weight class it's at. He has very little to lose and everything to gain. That imbalance in pressure, Conor fighting for his career, Holloway fighting for a bonus round of his legacy, is honestly the most interesting layer of this entire matchup, and it's the part almost nobody's talking about. I don't think it's the easy tune-up McGregor's team is probably hoping for either. Holloway's style is genuinely the worst possible matchup UFC could have handed Conor after a 3-year layoff. If McGregor fights smart, patient, picks his one shot, he's got a real chance. If he fights emotional the way he usually does when the moment gets big, this could be over fast. July 11th answers a question the entire sport's been asking for 3 years. Is Conor McGregor still Conor McGregor? Drop your prediction in the comments. I want to see who's actually got Conor picked to win this, because from where I'm sitting, it's closer to a coin flip than people want to admit. If you want the full breakdown on Aspinall gone and what happens next at heavyweight, that video's linked right here. Subscribe if you don't want to miss the Fight Week breakdown before July 11th.